All right, let's jump right in. We're going to tackle one of the most useful verbs in German, können. And trust me, in just the next couple of minutes, you'll have a brand new superpower for talking about all the cool stuff you can do.
So let me ask you this. How do you actually tell someone in German what you can do? Like, I can play the guitar or I can speak another language. How does that work? Well, it's actually way easier than you might think. And it all boils down to one powerful little word. And that magic word, it's können. Seriously, think of this verb as your key. It's the one tool that's going to unlock your ability to talk about all your skills and talents. So what is it exactly? Well, at its heart, it's super simple. Können is what's called a modal verb, which is just a fancy way of saying it's the German word for can or to be able to. That's its whole job, talking about what you're capable of. Okay, now this is the best part. You don't need to stress about memorizing a bunch of complicated grammar charts. Nope, all you need is a super simple two-step recipe. Get this down, and you can build a perfect sentence every single time. So what's the recipe? It's just 2 steps. Step 1, können grabs the second position in your sentence. It always goes there. Then step 2, whatever it is you can do, the action verb, gets kicked all the way to the very end of the sentence. And you just leave it in its original form. That's it. Let's see it in action.
Okay, boom. Here's a perfect example. Ich, that's I, is in spot number 1. Then what's in spot number 2? Kann, our version of können. And look what's all the way at the end? Spielen, to play. See how that works? Ich kann Tischtennis spielen. It follows the rule perfectly. I can play table tennis. Now, of course, just like we say I can, but he can, the word können changes a little bit depending on who we're talking about. So let's really quickly look at the different forms you'll need. Think of these as the different ingredients for our sentence recipe.
Okay, don't get overwhelmed by this chart. I want you to notice a really cool pattern here. Look at ich, which means I, and then look down at er, sie, es, he, she, it. See that? The form is exactly the same, kann. That is a fantastic little shortcut to burn into your brain. Super helpful.
All right, so we've got the rule, we've got the forms. Now it's time to put it all together. Let's really put this rule to the test and see how it holds up with a few more examples. Okay, first up, a super simple one. Ich kann singen. I can sing. Rule still works perfectly, right? Kann in second place, singen at the end. Let's try another one. Peter kann Gitarre spielen. So Peter can play guitar. Notice what's happening here. Peter is first, kann is second, and spielen is last. All the other information, like what he can play, Gitarre, it just fits right there in the middle. The main rule doesn't change. And check this out, we can even add more detail, and the rule still doesn't break. Ich kann 4 Sprachen sprechen. I can speak 4 languages. See? No matter how much stuff we put in the middle, kann stays in second place, and the action verb, sprechen, stays at the very end. It's a rock-solid system. Okay, so you've pretty much mastered making statements. That's awesome. Now let's level up with 2 simple, let's call them advanced moves that'll let you handle almost any conversation. Asking questions and, saying what you can't do. I mean, it's great to talk about yourself, right? But what if you want to ask someone else what they can do? How does that work? Well, you're going to love this because it's even easier than making a statement. Check this out. It's just a simple flip. You take the statement, du kannst tanzen, you can dance, and to make it a question, you just grab the verb, kannst, and flip it to the front. That's it. Kannst du tanzen? Can you dance? So simple. Okay, but what if you can't do something? How do you say that? Once again, it's just one tiny little word that you add to the sentence you already know how to make. All you do is add the word nicht, which just means not, and you place it right after können. So, wir können schwimmen, we can swim, becomes wir können nicht schwimmen, we cannot swim. Piece of cake, right? So if there's one thing you remember from all this, let it be this. The conjugated verb, our können, goes in the second position. The main action verb goes at the very, very end. Everything else, all the other details, just fits in the middle. If you can remember that one single thing, you've got this. You've totally mastered the core idea. And that's really all there is to it. You now have the key. You can officially talk about your abilities in German. So I've got a question for you. What's the first skill you're going to go and talk about? Give it some thought. Thanks for joining me.